This looks a little different though.
So Australia's openers, Travis Head, Usman Khawaja, ready to roll. Lytton Menon calls play. It'll be Mohamed Shami with the first ball of a historic test match. Round the wicket, southern end. Bowls here, wide of the crease, way outside the off stump. Reminiscent of Stephen Harmison at the Gabba in 2006. That could have been taken by Virat Kohli at second slip. Kaz Bharat did a dignified thing and jumped across the cordon. Wide signal, Australia are away with the Sundry.
Yeah, so the Prime Minister's left at the right time. I've had to see a repeat of Steve Harmison from 2006. You're right, he completely missed his mark. Looks a little rusty, Mohamed Shami. Just took a break or was rested for one test. Took very tight as he ran into ball.
Yeah, took 7 wickets at 14 in the first 2 tests of the series. Took a wicket every 26 deliveries. Round the wicket to Head, he tries again. Bowls here, Head leaves alone. A ball that comes back towards the left-hander, taken low by Kaz Bharat. Not a lot of carry.
And also not to forget, the players weren't allowed to warm up this morning on the ground. Whatever warm-up they had to do would have been in the nets. So ideally, you would have seen as soon as the toss was over, the Indian bowlers come out and have a run through, just get their body warmed up. Mohamed Shami was not given that opportunity, or none of the bowlers were given that opportunity because of all the festivities involving the 2 Prime Ministers. So he was running it cold.
So it's Shami. Right arm over, southern end. Towards us, towards Travis Head. Bowls here. Hits on the pad. Shout from the bowler, but not from the cordon. Spills out towards backward square. It'll be a leg by, I'm certain. Just waiting for the signal here from umpire Menon. So Australia none for 2. I don't consider a review on that. Sliding well down the leg side.
And well down the leg side. There's decent pace of this pitch.
Watching it
skidded through.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a skid from Shami. Trying to keep the stumps in play. Watching it back for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite. They pitched outside off, but was missing leg comfortably. Phil Long.
Usman Khawaja, 6 innings in this series. 4 times he's gone in single figures. The 2 times he's gone on and made 60 and 81.
So they've got the 3 slips in the gully. Pujara, Kohli, Shubham Gill and Shreyas Iyer. Usman Khawaja to face his first delivery of the test match. Shami here, Khawaja leaves again way wide. It should be 5 wides. No, it's going to be given as byes, which is stiff for Kaz Bharat. Had no chance of dragging that in front of first slip. So an expensive over to start the test match. None for 6 after 3 legal deliveries. That was watching it back here for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite. That absolutely should have been called a wide as well.
Oh, very much so. It went almost past second slip. Pujara moved out of the way. Virat Kohli at second slip moved out of the way. No chance for KS Bharat to catch that.
We only need a no ball now for the full set of extras in the first over.
Wow. How often does that happen in a test match, Phil Long?
Many times.
You know that's the next question. So Shami, can he get it right here to Khawaja? Bowls round the wicket. Khawaja leaves alone, the one that comes back towards the left-hander. That's the channel he wants to be in.
But again, I'll go back to Mohamed Shami running in cold. There's no way, there's no place where he could have just got his body going. Ideally, he would have bowled 10, 12 deliveries, as is the norm. So would have the other bowlers. Because they wouldn't allow that opportunity. You can see he's really stiff running in.
And the other thing I noticed, they couldn't even measure out them pull-ups until the festivities had been completed.
So it's Shami round the wicket. First over of the test match still. Bowls to Khawaja, edging and through the cordon for 4 more. Bouncing just between second and third slip. Wasn't a catchable height. None for 10 from 5 deliveries. Khawaja, the first boundary of the test match for Blunston, right on with Blunston. Talk us through it, Bharat Sundaration.
Yeah, the ball went to ground. Usman Khawaja took his bottom hand off the bat at the right moment. It went between second and third slip. Shubman Gill had to go down low. It bounced right in front of him, and I think Mohamed Shami would be slightly disappointed. Shubman Gill should have stopped that delivery. But what an exciting start already. It's all happening. Where the PMs, call them back.
Hope they're watching this. Hope they haven't left yet. Last ball of the first over of the test match. Shami bowls. Khawaja defends. End of the over. None for 10. That's all on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart Gardner. Head yet to score. Leg by from his end. Khawaja with the edge boundary. And then 6 extras in the first over of the test match. I can't imagine there have been too many first overs of a test where 6 runs have come in the Sundries column, Bharat.
Not really. But also the flurry of activity now near the side screen. At least 15-20 people involved. There are so many different moving parts to the side screen. You could see people running in. One group went towards one part of the side screen, took the white sheet off. The other group ran towards the other side, just clearing the side screen up, and as I make way for Ravi Shastri.
Thank you, Bharat. We'll hear from you throughout the course of the Test match. Ravi, who's been a busy boy this morning with the two Prime Ministers back on our side of the ground, on our level as well, ready to roll with us throughout the course of this Test match for Henley Homes by Henley Completed Home at the Dales, Bonnybrook, henley.com.au. Good morning, Ravi Shastri.
Morning, and it's been a hectic morning. In front of only 50,000 people, 60.
Yeah, this was our discussion point before, is that they've talked a big game about breaking the world record today. They need to double the crowd from here, I reckon. Umesh Yadav bowled so well last week upon his return, away from us, but down the leg side to start the Travis Head. No need to play it back.
But fascinating, just the atmosphere down. You know, it would take time for people to come in because of the two Prime Ministers here, the checking, the security outside. It could take a while for the crowd to really come in. Should have a lot more in an hour's time.
So how are you feeling? Your heart must be pumping. That was pretty high octane stuff down there.
It was, because, you know, it's the two Prime Ministers, the securities, the protocols.
Umesh right arm over, delivers here. Travis Head plays late out towards backward point. No
but
signal.
You know what? As Anthony Albanese, he is such a chilled guy.
Yeah,
he loves his cricket. You know, he knew everything about cricket. You know, as I went through the Hall of Fame, there was photographs of people who've done something in Australia. And as he was walking, he says, I was at the SCG when you got a double 100 when Shane Warne's first Test match. And there, one of the first photographs was mine on that Wall of Fame. So Modi pointed in that direction. Mr.
Three
Modi.
slips and a gully. Umesh bowls, and off the inside part of the bat, head out towards mid-wicket, no run. He did talk, the Australian PM, about going to every Sydney Test for the last 30 years or something like that when he was on the SEN broadcast at the Sydney Test this year.
And it was ironic when he said it, and immediately Mr. Modi picked up and said, there's the photograph of that. And he talked about it. He knew about players of the past and things of that sort. So it's rich in history, right, from Bradman's time to the turn of the century. Some great photographs there.
Umesh Yadav from our northern end here at Modi Stadium. Passes umpire Kettleborough, bowls here, head deflects down to the cordon, wanted to leave it, ended up playing it. Not in complete control, but no run, no concerns.
But I got 2 minutes to see the pitch. And it's black soil, it's a little damp, it won't be pacey today. It'll get quicker as the game progresses. Might see the odd ball keeping low. I will be very surprised if you don't see spin within the first 45 minutes because it might grip because of the dampness.
We'll keep an eye on that. We saw spin inside the first 20 minutes at indoor last week and consistently thereafter. Umesh Yadav up to the crease here, bowls over the wicket, head play and miss in that classic head fashion, trying to carve away, but it went beneath his bat, didn't get up at all. No bounces yet. We saw a couple in the first over from Shami keep low as well.
Yeah, that's because of the dampness and the moisture in the surface. I expect it to get a little quicker after lunch. At least the bounce should get a little more even.
So that 75-year gallery that you're opening then, is that a gallery itself or a wall of fame, or what is it?
It's a gallery. It's a fabulous gallery. Okay. It's a massive square.
We'll try and get down there, take a few photos at lunch. Umesh to finish the second over of the Test match, down the leg side again to Head, who can't catch up with it. So 2 overs gone on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Maiden complete. None for 10 Australia, and our coverage is for Tyre Power. Know your tyres.
Stay on the ball while you're on the road. The SEN app is now available on Apple CarPlay, so you can keep up with all the big moments, expert commentary, and the latest news. When it happens in sport, SEN has you covered. Find the SEN app on Apple CarPlay.
People call me the world's best bargain hunter. I call them with my Kogan Mobile monthly plan. Unlimited talk, text, and 40 gigs for $25 a month with first month free. Talk about a bargain. KoganMobile.com.au. T's and C's apply.
SEN Test Cricket for Henley Homes by a Henley Completed Home at the Dales, Bonnybrook, henley.com.au. Adam Collins with you. Ravi Shastri with me. He was with the two Prime Ministers this morning in the pre-game opening the new gallery, GCA end of the ground, which is where Mohammad Shami will continue to bowl the third over of the Test match after Australia won the toss and batted. Unchanged lineup from the side that won it indoor. Kawaja facing Shami. Round the wicket he goes. 3 slips, delivers here, leaves alone outside of the off stump. Have you had much to do with the Indian Prime Minister Modi over the years?
I've not had much to do, but I met him many times. You know, he was the president of the Gujarat Cricket Association. He's the one who sowed the seed of bringing down the old stadium and putting up a new one. And whilst he was president, he would come for every game. At the end of every game, if you were doing the presentation, you would get a chance to meet him, and he would always talk progress. Progress about the state, progress about the infrastructure, the facilities, be it sport or on the outside.
And they're still here. I can see it on our screen here. Shami bowls and Kawaja leaves the line again, way outside the off stump from Mohammed Shami on the screen we just saw before for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite. The 2 Prime Ministers sitting and watching a bit of play before they head off to Mumbai. I'm trying to get the binoculars on them. I reckon they're right behind the bowler's arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see them here. They're behind the bowler's arm, sitting together above the photo. That'll be a good photo for one of the snappers here. So there is a picture of the 2 PMs, and directly behind them they're sitting up on level 1, 2, 3. Is that level 4 up there on the pavilion side of the ground? So they'll take in a bit of cricket. Shami bowls again. Kawaja plays from back in the crease out towards point. No run. He's still on 4. Had yet to get off the mark. None for 10.
Yeah, just seeing this pitch, I'm a little surprised at the lines the Indians have bowled already. Sometimes when you play on turning tracks, where the focus is on the stumps, you're concentrating that much harder and getting your lines right. Now they've seen a little bit of grass, a little bit of moisture. The last thing you want is not attack the stumps. You've got to make the batsman play in this first 45 minutes. The best in the world would make you play every ball here, test you around that off stump, let you know where that off stump is.
Yeah, Shami's so good with the new ball at Nagpur. Needs to get it right here. Bowls to Kawaja, who again's able to leave alone. He's just not making him play.
Yeah, and as an opening batsman, that's the best sight you can get. As the ball goes past, you can see if there's any movement, how much bounce there is as it goes to the keeper. And you suss out the conditions a lot faster, as opposed to when you're made to play, where there's always that doubt in your mind.
Usman Khawaja, 153 runs in the series before today at 26, but 2 important half centuries in the last 2 matches. The 60 at indoor last week felt like 160. Averages 38 away from home and 49 in Asia. Shami to the veteran here. Khawaja plays on the leg stump, turns it round the corner, out towards Ashwin doing the work at fine leg, gets a single. None for 11. Khawaja 5 of those.
And I think from Australia's point of view, they'll be well aware of what's required on a first day track. When you get to bat first, if you can see that first session through with about 8 wickets in hand, I think it's a good platform.
Interesting hearing Steve Smith yesterday discussing the ability to get in here. He thinks it's a kind of track where you can bat for a couple of days, where you can actually make a dent early on and not get bowled out on day one.
Absolutely.
No gremlins so far. Last ball of the 3rd over. Shami delivers, head, plays and misses, past the inside edge, and 4 more byes. That did loads after passing the stumps. KS Bharat diving away to his right. That will complete the over. Head still yet to get off the mark. None for 15 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Khawaja down the other end on 5.
Hello, this is Bharat Sunderson. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
Australia at none for 15 after 3 overs. They won the toss and batted. Watching back the final delivery of that over for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite. The first that's really moved from Shami back towards the left-hander. Head tried to drive expansively, went past his inside edge, past the off stump, and went careering away. And KS Bharat didn't quite get there in time, went underneath his right glove. Might have just flicked it on the way through. Either way, more sundries. Umesh Yadav, change of angle. Round the wicket to Khawaja, who leaves the lane outside the off stump. How many extras is that so far, Phil?
10. I had to top them up, yeah.
10 in 3 overs to start a test match. There you go.
How many byes?
2 lots of 4, 8 byes. Right.
So here in Ahmedabad, in Gujarat, a city of nearly 9 million. So it's grown a lot in recent decades, Ravi? Gujarat, Ahmedabad rather?
Oh yes, it's a massive city now.
So 2 slips and effectively 2 gullies for Khawaja. Umesh round the wicket. He defends from the inside part of the bat, out to mid-wicket, knows the call.
And it's always Gujarat's biggest city. And what will amuse you, or people listening in Australia, as a state, this has three state teams. It's one state, but it has 3 teams.
Oh, right.
Gujarat, Saurashtra, and Baroda.
And Saurashtra is where that's
Pujara and Jadeja come from. Hardik Pandya comes from Baroda.
Okay. Jasprit Bumrah, a local boy here,
Yep.
round the wicket. Umesh bowls and Khawaja leaves alone.
So it just shows that in one state, the abundance of talent suddenly. They've got the facilities here. They've got some great practice wickets. There are grounds in Rajkot, which has held test matches. Baroda is building a stadium. So because of the facilities that exist now for people from the outskirts of the metros, you can see the game developing quickly.
And a famous ground even before the redevelopment. This was where Kapil Dev broke the wicket-taking world record back in 1994. Umesh bowls round the wicket. Khawaja plays from the crease out to cover for a moment. Head one of the single, got sent back. It stays at none for 15.
I played in that test match in 1983. We lost in 3.5 days to the West Indies. It was a newly laid surface. Kapil got 9 for, I think, in the game. And we thought, wow, 9 for. Little did we know once Marshall holding and Roberts got the ball in their hands. It was a game set match, 3.25 days. And one ball, especially to Anshuman Gaikwad from Michael, short ball over the keeper's head, one bounce into the screen. Just took off.
And the best ever figures here. 9 for 33. Round the wicket here, full and straight and driven. Not very far onto the stumps via the fingers of Umesh Yadav. And that will, no, it won't be the end of the 4th over. Then it was, well, you might have also been playing with Sunil Gavaskar.
Yes.
Reached 10,000 test runs here in 87.
Very much. It was against Pakistan. Yep.
That must have been quite the day. Test match against Pakistan, rare as they were back then.
Yeah, absolutely. We played a lot, in fact, in the 80s.
Umesh Yadav to complete his 2nd over. No runs off him so far to Khawaja, who defends out towards mid-on. No concern so far for the Australian openers. They're none for 15 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Head yet to score. Khawaja on 5.
Working with your hands, eating healthy, going to bed early. All rewarding. But not as rewarding as a Kogan Money credit card. With 0% per annum for 14 months on eligible purchases, plus $500 Kogan.com credit to spend on the most in-demand products when you meet the minimum spend criteria. Use it anytime, anywhere. The Kogan Money credit card, it's just more rewarding. Head to Kogan.com to find out more. Spend criteria applies. Offer ends March 19, 2023. T's and C's, fees and charges apply. Credit provider, National Australia Bank Limited.
It's a hot day here at Ahmedabad. Expected to get to 35 degrees by the time we get into the afternoon. So no hesitation from Steve Smith batting first upon winning a toss. Looking around that top deck. Still people coming in. But yes, not the 100,000 that was talked up during the week in the lead up to the test. Shami to start his 3rd over. He's been expensive so far. Bowls here, head, play and a miss, swinging way outside the off stump. Had a slash at it. KS Bharat did well diving across in front of the cordon for about the 4th time already from Shami's end. You can see why Head was attracted to it. It was short and wide, but just enough movement to beat him on the cut shot.
Yeah, you've got to get used to the pace. You'll get a lot of inside edges if you try and throw your bat hard at the ball because there's lack of pace there and bounce. So inside edges that might jack back onto the stumps as well.
So Shami's round the wicket. 3 slips a gully. He's catching men behind. Bowls here, Head pushing out to mid-on, no single. So we've had, yes, that surge in population here. New stadium. This is the city of the Prime Minister, who the ground's named after. It feels like this is a real hotbed of activity in terms of growing of the Indian economy in recent times.
It is, and IPL games get full.
Right. So the IPL final was here last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. You'll have the opening game here. That'll be full.
So it's effectively the national stadium.
It is now. Yeah. It is. I mean, every final, World Cup final, will be held here.
It's scheduled for November later this year. Shami to head. None from 11. Pushing out towards cover. Will get off the mark. Parried away by the man at mid-off. That was Rohit Sharma. So none for 16. Head 1 from 12.
Lovely hands and such a good timer of the ball. That last one just seemed to be a defensive push, but raced away. It's a big ground, but a good outfield. It's good from cricket's point of view because you get to see 2s and 3s also being taken. Unlike you hit the gap and it's 4.
Well, it could have been
1 or 4.
It could have been a massive boundary had they not roped in the western side. So it's an interesting setup here where from the end Mohammad Shami's bowling from the southern end, they've had to block out of Bay of Seats. They're playing all the way across the square to keep the pitches in the middle ready for the IPL later in the month. Shami bowls here to Khawaja. He's on 5. He leaves this one alone outside the off stump. So normally a test match will be played dead centre or maybe one either side. This is 4 pitches over from dead centre, which means that on to the left of our commentary position, the western side, it's roped in by, 30 metres, 40 metres maybe?
Yeah, and it's black soil.
Yeah.
The pitches you're talking, Adam, on the other side, they're all red soil.
Red soil, yeah. So they did prepare one way over on the left of the square, the more red soil style, and as we were talking to Steve Smith about on our pre-game yesterday, the red soil, they expected to bounce a bit more, the black soil keep a little bit lower as it did at Delhi. Again, Shami here to Khawaja, pushing out towards extra cover. There's no single to row it on this occasion.
But it's not dry like Delhi. It's well bound, and because of that moisture, it'll hold it together. It will turn as the game progresses, but on the slower side. Not the bounce that you get on red soil tracks.
That's retrospectively called a no ball, so he's completed the set. There's the klaxon. I love the klaxon in India. That's Nitin Menon, who's been told to call that by TV umpire Joel Wilson upstairs in the TV booth this week. So he's had byes conceded off him so far, 8 of those, 1 leg by, 1 wide, and now 1 no ball. Shami is he's been busy, but not in a good way for India so far. 2 legal deliveries left in the 5th over. None for 17. Bowls here. Khawaja leaves alone.
He'll take some time. This is what I've always noticed with Mohammad Shami. He's a rhythm bowler. The more he plays, the more he bowls, the better he gets. So I think the break in that last test match makes me believe he's got to start all over again. It'll take a while before he gets into the groove. 5, 6, 7 overs.
He used to cop a bit of grief about bowling a pretty length at England, didn't he? About the idea that he could beat the bat because he was back of the length, but he's been fuller than that through the series.
Yep.
Shami leading this attack in the absence of Jasprit Bumrah, born and raised in Ahmedabad, but unavailable at the moment. Number of injuries. Shami bowls full to finish. Khawaja defends. He stays on 5. Australia none for 17 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Head on 1. And our coverage is for Henley Homes by Henley, completed home at the Dales Bonnybrook. Henley.com.au.
Prepare for a winning season by purchasing Varaxa herbicide by BASF, and you could be driving away in a new Ford Ranger Raptor. Or win one of 200 AgBot tank monitoring systems. Every $20,000 worth of crop protection products purchased through Elders in February and March could grab you a ticket in the draw. Visit your local Elders branch or elders.com.au for details today. Elders, we're for Australian agriculture. Terms and conditions apply.
Our first session on SEN Test Cricket is for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship and employment experts. We've got Ravi Shastri with us for a couple more overs to start our coverage. It's going to be a delay though because we're getting the short leg pads on.
Spin.
Which, or is it? Umesh Yadav's still got the ball in his hand. No one's told him.
Yeah, but there'll be spin soon.
So that, yes, we saw last week that when Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer had to put the keeping pads on, they wear their one-day international blue shin pads underneath the whites, and if there's any blue showing, they need to tape it up. For the time being, the field will remain 3 slips and a gully. Round the wicket, Umesh bowls to Travis Head, who drives away and doesn't beat mid-off. Got plenty of it. Didn't quite get the angle he wanted. They get 2 from the deflection. Rohit Sharma saving a boundary. Head 3, Australia none for 19.
That was rocketing to the fence. Got his hands to him. Beautifully timed, put stride forward. Just get the feeling that you'll see spin at the other end. The choice between Jadeja and Ashwin. I think it'll be Ashwin. 2 left-handers there.
Umesh up to Travis Head. Bowls here, plays defensively from the crease out towards mid-wicket. No single. The other option, of course, is Akshar Patel, who was a revelation here at Ahmedabad against England a couple of years ago. Bags of 6 for 38, 5 for 32 and 5 for 48 in the space of 3 test matches, averaging 9.3 on this ground. So even though he's not been in the wicket so far in this series, fond memories.
Fond memories. Yeah, but difference, Australia played it much better. Played the line rather than looking for what's going to happen.
It's 3 from 14. Umesh to him here. Takes it off his hip, out towards deep square. Well timed. Out to the longer side of the ground, but he will get a boundary. His first of the morning. Now boundaries for Blunston, right on mid. Blunston heads 7, Australia none for 23 in the 6th over. Good start.
Yeah, he could have had 2 boundaries in this over. Again, beautifully clipped. It's a slowish track because of the moisture early on and dampness.
Yeah, just no pace in that at all, was there?
Yep.
Help yourself stuff off his thigh pad. Travis Head took 12 balls to get off the mark, but making up for lost time here. Umesh up past umpire Kettleborough. Wider of the crease, round the wicket, carving straight down to point on the bounce. That's the classic Travis Head cut shot. Well fielded, another boundary save.
And if India are thinking, they'll be thinking they need to get Head out early. Because if he stays, he'll score quick on this track.
Absolutely. Mentioned Richard Kettleborough, 78th Test match, turns 50 next week.
Wow.
We saw him between Test matches by the pool on the day off. Always see him in the gym as well. Standing at our northern end. Umesh passes him here. Bowls edging, caught behind, put down by Kaz Bharat. Oh, that is a howler. Travis Head playing from the crease. Straight in and straight out. K.S. Bharat's had a dirty morning. Already letting 4 byes go through, one that he should have gloved. And that, believe you me, he should have pouched. Watching it back for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite. Just back of a length, got head in 2 minds. Oh dear, he didn't even need to move. Hits the glove into the chest, Ravi Shastri. That's a shocker.
Absolute shocker. Nothing he had to do. Beautiful height. Straight into the gloves. No real deviation. Umesh Yadav will be.
Last ball here, Umesh should have to head again, who wisely leaves this alone. So the drop catch and 6 runs in the over. Australia number 23 Head is 7, Kawaja 5 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener.
Got a boat or a jet ski? How good is getting out on the open water? Throw in a line, tow a tube, or just soak up the sun. But what if something happened to your boat? Get peace of mind with Club Marine Boat Insurance. They're specialist boat insurers and have been around for more than 50 years. Flexible cover for your jet ski or boat, motor or trailer, and gear, all in one policy. Get a quote at clubmarine.com.au. T's and C's apply. Check the PDS to see if this product is right for you. Go to the Club Marine website for a PDS and TMD.
Our first session on SEN Test Cricket is for MEGT, Australia's Apprenticeship and Employment Experts. Watching the replay back time and again for Beaumont Tiles, Australia's favourite between overs. That is a staggering drop catch at international level. Shami into Kawaja, new over here, plays and misses. This time Bharat pouches it safely. Rohit Sharma was probed about KS Bharat yesterday, averaging only 15 with the bat in the series, whether he'd make way for Ishan Kishan, and he really backed him in heavily, saying that no. KS Bharat's our best keeper. He's going to play, but I mean that's a sort of drop catch that lives long in the memory.
Yep. And if it costs you a game, it costs you runs. If it gets 100 from here, he will remember that.
Big week for India as well, remembering they need to win here to guarantee their place in the World Test Championship final. Another test taking place at the moment relevant to that. Shami bowls, round the wicket, Kawaja defends. So Sri Lanka are currently 4 for 249 on day 1 of that series against New Zealand.
Wow.
Kushal Mendez 87. The captain, Dimith Karunaratne, made a half century as well, remembering that Sri Lanka need to beat New Zealand in New Zealand 2-0 to eliminate India. But, you know, New Zealand have had a dreadful run over the last couple of years. So that could happen.
Yep. But a tall ask, though. Sri Lanka have started off well, 249, and I believe they would have got it in 2 sessions. Just over 2 sessions, so they're scoring quickly. Intent is there.
So a bit of pressure on India this week. They need to win here to make sure of it. Shami bowls Kawaja using his feet before defending out to cover. Gets a single. The first time we've seen Kawaja with that little shimmy that we saw so often in Pakistan this time last year. He's 6 for 24.
Clearly suggests there's no real pace in this track. He can afford to do that. So even if the bowler sees him come and bangs it in short, it's not really going to bounce that much.
Khawaja made an art form of that against Pakistan in Pakistan. When the pace was out of the game, he would just walk down the track like Matthew Hayden. So Travis Head's had one life. He's 7 from 18. Smacking the bat into the turf. Shami past umpire Menon, wider of the crease, bowls here around the wicket, defended out to cover. So that World Test Championship spot was sewn up by Australia last week. They felt like they were the country at risk of missing out. They'd been beaten 4-0. They've been under a lot of pressure, but it's now India who are in the death spot, if you like, so they need to win here. And let's not get carried away. It's only half an hour into the Test match, but it's just a reminder that these small interactions early on will have an influence on that too.
Yeah, even a draw here, and then if Sri Lanka win 2-0, they will sneak in.
So Shami towards us, towards Head. On 7 bowls here, Head defends from the stumps. We'll send you back to TV in a moment, Ravi, to do your thing over there, having had the responsibility of leading the ceremony this morning, taking the Prime Ministers through. No bigger name in Indian cricket than you. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us throughout the series, and as we will throughout this Test match. 1 ball left, and this is the 7th over. Shami in. Runs up here to the crease, bowls to Head, who defends again, out to cover. So there'll be a change of commentary now after the break. 7 overs gone Australia, none for 24 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart Gardner. Head 7, Khawaja 6. Daniel Norcross replacing Mead, and Harsha Bogle jumping into Ravi's chair.
Hello, this is Bharat Sunderson. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
That's here on SEN with Tyre Power. Know your tyres with Australia. None for 24, and the 2 PMs are now making their way off. Narendra Modi, Anthony Albanese. They've been in there since probably about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. They've had an extraordinary first morning, both on and off the pitch. And now a semblance of calm, I'd be about to say. As we welcome for the first time today, Harsha Bogle, lovely to have you on board.
Thank you very much.
Umesh Yadav with 2 slips and sort of 2 gullies is in. Khawaja just plays an angled bat. It's fielded on the bounce by the diving gully. And there is no run. What a start we've had, Harsha. And poor old KS Bharat.
The ball's been everywhere but where he wants it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought you could cut him a little bit of slack with the first 2 4-bys that he went, because the ball's like an errant school child. It's just got a mind of its own, going everywhere. But tough to condone this drop chance, isn't it? I just wonder whether the low bounce that he's seen right through caused his gloves to be a little low.
Because it did catch a little bit higher, didn't it, than the others so far, as Umesh is in. And Khawaja defends into the onside, goes straight to short mid-wicket, where Jadeja does the fielding. Yeah, there was a couple of 4-bys we've had, Phil.
Yeah, the first innings last week at Indoor, India's 109 featured no extras whatsoever. We'd had the full complement of extras by the end of the 5th over today.
That's my kind of stat. Fuso stats. Fuso canters are in stock now. Job done. Thank you, Phil Long. He's with us throughout this series. As Umesh Yadav is into the left-handed. Khawaja drives elegantly into space. Didn't time it too well, so just pick up the single. Come back for a second. And this is where it moves to his right from mid-off to field. Sends in the throw. The score advances to none for 26. Yeah, a couple of those 4-bys. I mean, there was one that really did swing quite sharply after it left the bat, so I'm going to let him off that. It's tough. Also, I mean, to what extent, Harsha, do you think just a lack of warm-up? I mean, it was such a crazy morning. We didn't really see a lot of opportunity for the players to warm up, and the emotion of the day as well, and the anthems, and the Prime Ministers being there. You've got to get your game head on straight away if you're a keeper out here. As Umesh is in That's all left alone quite close to off stump, as it would keep a no run.
Well, just as well that the captain, who's the opening batter, wasn't actually out there batting, because you had to go and introduce your players, you had to invite the two prime ministers along. Just takes me back to the origins of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, and that is what you saw today. It has its origins in the Australia-India Trade Council. And these are countries that have had such an intense rivalry on the field over the last 20-25 years, growing very, very close together.
Mesh in, and that's defended from the crease back to the bowler, goes up to mid-on. There's no run.
There's major free trade agreements expected to be announced. India getting economically much closer to Australia, so it was that kind of jamboree as well. And then suddenly he said, oh, hang on, it's 2-1. there's a test match on.
With the series delicately poised and a World Test Championship up for grabs. I mean, we can slightly over-rate that. The chances of Sri Lanka winning 2-0 in New Zealand are pretty.
But you've seen the way they started.
I have, indeed. Umesh in, it's a thick edge. Runs towards Gill at third slip. That is the end of the over on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener, Australia, none for 26.
I'm a chippy, which means I'm a craftsman. I'm a worker in nearly all weather. I'm a mentor, and I'm a small business owner. But most of all, I'm a dad. Luckily, I'm insured by a mate. I'm Mara the tradies mate. So get a quote today, online, or call 13-IMAR. They're the tradies mate. Let's IMAR!
Shastri on SEN with Henley Homes. Buy a Henley, compete at home in the Dales, Ponnybrook.henley.com.au. So Shami is continuing. This is his fifth over.
He looked a bit lost, did he?
He did, didn't he? I mean, a little stiff and a little not quite on it. But he's going to bowl his fifth with 3 slips of gully, backward point, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. First ball of the over is driven to short mid-off. And to complete the lineup, we have Ashwin down a wideish long leg. Bharat Sunderson is with us. Your first observations of the morning.
Good have an Aussie in the box.
Okay, there you go. About time.
It was the only one out of us three.
No, I mean, speaking of Indo-Australian relations, we saw the 2 PMs leave. There's only one amongst us who's had posters all around Australia which says Harsha for PM. So there you go, yeah. A potential Prime Minister in our ranks.
I asked for them to be put there.
Round the wicket comes Shami, and Head defends forcefully off the front foot up to mid-off. There's no run.
You'll also appreciate, Harsha, there was one comment on the YouTube shows I did with Adam Collins where they said everybody's missing the point. Mr. Modi and Mr. Albanese are meeting for one reason, the official passover of Bharat Sunderson from India to Australia.
He's making a pitch again. He's making a pitch again, Bharat.
It's desperate, this. I do this every time I commentate at the Oval. I've been promised an ashtray with my name on it at the Oval. And as hard as I try, it never quite happens. So I always make the pitch on radio.
That's the best place to do
the same thing.
Why don't you just buy an ashtray and carve your name on it?
Yeah.
It's not the same unless if you do it.
Yes, I want to be able to open it.
Yeah,
a tiny little curtain.
That's true.
Just one of those tiny little curtains. I've never opened anything in my... No, I tell a lie. I opened a dog judging contest on Tootingbeck Common. But that is... Yeah, I did. That's the height of my fame. Shami is in. Whoa, flashed that. Missed through to the keeper. And there's no run. Have you ever done a dog judging contest?
I love seeing those dog shows, especially the dogs are meant to go on a circuit.
That's right.
And there's always that one dog that says, no, I won't. And that's the star.
That's the dog that gets my vote every time.
every time. What kind of shot is that one? I get the feeling that they aren't really there. I don't know why I get the feeling. Yeah. I mean, they're meant to be there. They are. They're great cricketers, all of them.
Yeah, no, you mean
but something's missing.
Yeah, everything is not quite right. We'll cut to the second, Bharat. And now that we've got a short extra cover in, 2 slips and a gully in place, Shami in, and this is defended up to mid-off from the crease, and there's no run.
I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they weren't allowed to warm up on the field. Mohammad Shami looked so stiff running in. Like I said earlier, ideally he would have bowled 15-20 deliveries on one of the side pitches just to get his body going. He wasn't given that opportunity. The batters would have been out there just having a hit, but also just getting yourself up for a test match. It takes a while, and it has felt so unique, even for us coming in so early. It is. I think we need this test match to settle in.
Well, it's almost tea time in my body clock. We're up at 5:30, I think it was. Shami in and splashed away. Backward point reach.
Get him a cup of tea, somebody. Get him a cup of tea.
Do you know, I do feel a bit like that. I mean, our hotel was lovely. They gave us a little breakfast box.
They did.
Breakfast starts at 6:30, you see. So Bharat was very kind, and he sweet-talked the chef. And we got a lovely breakfast box, a sandwich, a bit of fruit in it. But then we were concerned we wouldn't be able to get the fruit into the ground. So there were pears that were given out to people at this gas station on the street, because we were very worried about security. And it was all fine in the end. Last ball of the over, Shami in, and head just drives nicely. Oh, it's gone through the fielder a bit on. That's a poor bit of work by Umesh Yadav. It's gone all the way up to the boundary for 4 at the end of the over on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener, Australia, none for 30.
The 7-seat Kia Sorento, Kia's most awarded large SUV ever. Unlike any other SUV in Australia, the unrivaled Kia Sorento is available in diesel, petrol, hybrid and plug-in hybrid technologies. The Kia Sorento, awarded and unmatched like no other 7-seat SUV. To find out more, visit kia.com.au or visit your nearest Kia dealer.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Tesco and SEN with tyre power. Know your tyres. We've got our first bowling change of the morning, and it's our Ashwin who's come in to replace Umesh Yadav from the northern end of the ground. It's a massive ground, and what they've done is they've started by filling the lower tier. Now, yesterday I walked up to the very top of the top tier, and from the first floor level you have to walk 162 steps. I'm not a fit man, as I discovered.
Why were you counting?
Because why was I counting? I wasn't. A colleague from a rival radio station was counting to keep his own spirits up. Mine were flagging once he got to about 86, and we saw that we were only just over halfway.
I'll tell you what I've enjoyed the most is the sound around the stadium. I didn't think I'd ever say for the start of a test match in India, when the fast bowler's running in, I wonder if the umpire will hear a nick.
Yeah. Right, Ashwin's first delivery. He's got a slip and a forward short leg in place. Khawaja waits and comes forward in defence, slightly watchful, pushes out into the covers. I'm going to give you the field. We have a backward square leg. He's got a square short fine leg, if you like. A mid-wicket and mid-off. Mid-off, and then so Trixie in out with a short extra cover, and then a slightly deeper cover saving one, a backward point, and that's your lot. With the slip and the short leg as Ashwin is in. This is defended by Khawaja in that distinctive style where his right leg just moves away to the side, pushes it to short mid-wicket, no run.
It's just the way the stadium is built as well. It's not just the noise but the heat that will be kept inside. I was just speaking to the umpires yesterday.
Ashwin in just 3 or 4 paces round the wicket. Oh, head on the pad. He likes that a lot. He's done the jiggle backwards. Arm in the air. Now there's going to be a chat. I think from first sight it's probably drifting down, but it's not up to me. We've got the conclave. The papal conclave. No, shake of the head.
I've never seen Ashwin go down, sort of not all the way down on his knees, but bend his knees before in an appeal. That's unique.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of...
It's very Nathan Lyon.
It is.
They're becoming like each other. I tell you, they're becoming like each other. They talk about off-spin bowling. They're now becoming like each other.
No jazz hands yet from Ashwin.
No, but there was something very Lyon-esque about it. Was that Leonine as he comes forward, pushes it to short extra cover, no run. You know when Nathan Lyon really believes, and that's when the right knee goes down hard onto the ground, then both arms go to the side, and then they wiggle.
He's got to be careful doing that on some of the pitches.
Yes,
oh yeah, it could be very sore. Ashwin in, that's tossed up, and just a little movement of the feet to get to the pitch of the ball, and it's pushed up to Jadeja. Mid-on, there's no run.
And just going back to what the umpires were saying, so they believe that even if it's 32, 33 degrees outside, inside it'll feel like an oven. So they're warming up for it as well.
No, summer's here.
It just felt like it did here the last few weeks, but it's forward in defence. Comes Khawaja, pushes back up to the bowler. End of the over on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Australia, none for 30.
Hello, this is Bharat Sunderson. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
That's great. Get on SEM. Henley Homes. Buy a Henley completed home at the Dales, Bolingbroke, henley.com.au. Now then, is this a change of ends? Am I seeing Umesh at the far end, at the southern end of the ground, Harsha?
Yes, you are. Wonder if you'll see Shami bowling from the other end too.
2 slips and a gully. And Umesh defended for back foot out into the cover region towards wide mid off, and there's no run. Head on 11. Khawaja has 8. Pete Lawler has joined us alongside Harsha Bhogle and myself, Daniel Norcross. Oh, well, let's get your honour.
Turn me honour? Yeah, turn me off.
That didn't turn you on, Peter.
Yeah.
Turn me on, turn me off again, Harsha.
I've never known of a summariser to sit in the summarizer's chair and get his iPad on before he says a word.
Umesh in and head defends late with no foot movement, but right out of the middle of the bat up to mid-off. We've had a couple of wonky shots so far today, fellas. We've had a few flashes and misses, but the pitch itself has no gremlins. You've watched all 3 test matches. How are you assessing the pitch so far? It looks all right to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting wicket. It's almost an un-Indian wicket, I would suggest. Not a lot of bounce and carry, but there's some movement, and there's actually posthumous swing, isn't it? It's really upset KS Bharat this morning.
Umesh in, and this is driven firmly down the ground. Lovely shot. And that is going to make it all the way to the boundary. Boundaries with Blundstone right on with Blundstone. None for 34 Australia. That was a lovely crisp shot from head just to the onside of straight past the bowler. Touch over pitch, but not that much. And you just get the feeling that the batters here are now starting to trust this surface.
I wonder if this pitch is a reaction to the sanction from the ICC in indoor for going too far with the turns, or to the situation of the game, or
Umesh in and head defends into the offside, finds a little bit of a gap, but Akshar's quick to his left field. There's no run from point.
Or, as I said earlier, a reaction to just how well the Australian spin bowling attack has been in these conditions. And I can't believe I'm saying that, given that both Kuhnemann and Murphy have made their debuts over here. They've hardly played much. They haven't played that much first-class cricket between them, and they've come over here like they're on their 3rd or 4th tour of India. They really have bowled with great maturity.
Whatever happens, do not tell Kuhnemann and Murphy about Ijaz Patel. Picked up 10 wickets and didn't play the next test.
Very, very strong point. Umesh in head, flashes away, but into the ground. It's fielded at point by Akshar.
Yeah, it was a very interesting start of the play. You talked about the 2 prime ministers in there, especially minted coin today.
Oh yeah,
75 years of Indo-Australian friendship. Though sometimes when it's me and Peter Lawler sitting here, I don't always relate to the friendship bit. But now
75 years though in Pete's case.
Yeah, 75 years.
No, it's not. I think it's 80. I think it's 80. We met before the cricket, didn't we? When I was backpacking, I remember you were a little fellow running around your mother's knee.
India's first cricket tour as an independent nation was to Australia. The first ever test match India played under the India banner was at Brisbane.
Umesh in to complete the over as is whacked away out through the covers. It was a long wide half volley. Another boundary. Boundaries with Blundstone right on with Blundstone, and at the end of the over on the Holman scoreboard, Holman for the smart gardener. Australia are none for 38.
Got a boat or a jet ski? How good is getting out on the open water? Throw in a line, tow a tube, or just soak up the sun. But what if something happened to your boat? Get peace of mind with Club Marine Boat Insurance. They're specialist boat insurers and have been around for more than 50 years. Flexible cover for your jet ski or boat, motor or trailer, and gear, all in one policy. Get a quote at clubmarine.com.au. T's and C's apply. Check the PDS to see if this product is right for you. Go to the Club Marine website for a PDS and T&D.
Tesco and SEN with tyre power. Know your tyres. Daniel Norcross, Pete Lawler and Harsha Bhogle with me as our Ashwin starts 12th over. He's in to Khawaja, pushes back the bowler. No run just before the break. You wouldn't tell us First series played by India under the India banner against Australia.
I just got it confirmed with our stats person. Apparently, India was always played as all India.
Right.
But
Ashwin in, and this is clipped away into the onside. So that's going to run away towards the man. It won't make it there. It'll be hunted down within 10 or 15 yards and hurled back in a couple of runs more to Khawaja. He moves to double figures, Australia none for 40.
Not the fastest of outfields. It's a beautiful outfield. I think I'm told it's Australian couch grass. It's absolutely perfect. It thrives in Indian conditions, like the eucalyptus trees you see around here.
There's no grass like Australian grass.
Oh no.
There's a few things Indian that thrive in Australia as well. But now that's
you.
For a start.
Ashwin. Khawaja comes down the wicket.